don't be fooled, this map is showing a whole lot more than just elevation of different countries. We're looking at the amount of meters on average these nations are above sea level. There's actually a much bigger hidden secret on this map. There's a really big theme you can find in all of these nations that are highlighted, specifically in the places like China, Afghanistan, Iran, and that is that many of these countries were never fully conquered. Maybe for a brief time in their history, but not long term. A lot of these nations are infamous historically for being extremely difficult to conquer. And remember, when it comes to a lot of these places that avoided being conquered, for a lot of their history, it was a perfect combination of it being too difficult to conquer them, but also them playing very good diplomatically. For example, we have the famous and neutral Switzerland. Not only are they very high on average above sea level, but for the last like 200 years, they haven't been conquered. They might have had brief moments of being occupied, but this did not last. A perfect example of what I'm talking about, go back to the World War II days. There's a few reasons why the Swiss were able to survive, literally surrounded on all sides by the Axis. Not only were there diplomatic reasons, but also it was just not worth it. The Austrian painter knew it was just going to be too difficult for very little payoff. Could the Germans at that time conquered it? Yeah, probably, but it would have been so annoying. The Swiss were ready to make their country look like Afghanistan in Europe. Conquering the Swiss Alps would have been such a pain in the ass. Another famous place being very difficult to conquer on that time, Ethiopia. Just ask the Italians, it was not a very fun time. Then you got a massive nation like China. Of course, the flat part of China is easy, but there's a reason why the Japanese Empire in World War II weren't able to get much further than just the coast. They weren't able to get that far inland. Imagine having to fight here in the Tibetan Plateau. That would have been insane. Like I said at the very beginning, there might have been a brief moment where these countries were occupied, but to be able to hold this stuff, that was the difficult part.